Good morning, everyone. My name is Emily. I am a student of Masters in Acute Nursing undertaking a program in Special Issues in Infection Prevention and Control under Griffith University. My presentation is about the emerging of influenza avian origin H7N9 outbreak in China in 2013 and that lasted until 2017, which was managed in accordance with international health regulation and One Health Initiative perspective. The aim of this presentation is to conduct a critical analysis in relation to the preparedness, response, and prevention plan that was implemented by the jurisdiction of China working along with the World Health Organization. The content of this presentation will present to you the rationale for selecting the outbreak, methods, background of the outbreak. It will also provide understanding about the origin of the virus and also include the surveillance system in identifying the virus, then followed by the preparedness, response, and prevention plan in reflection to the International Health Regulation 2005 and One Health Initiative perspective. Then for the final of this presentation is to provide some recommendation to promote and will assist the future jurisdiction response of China to the re-emergence of influenza A H7N9 outbreaks. Every year, countries around the world may experience an interseasonal influenza outbreaks, which may have a minimal to extensive activity. Influenza is a viral infection, which has a unique characteristic and ability to elude major challenges in manifestation of its severity and impact. There are different influenza types and subtypes. It has type A, B, C, and D. Influenza A is the most common subtype to cause mortality and morbidity to human and animals. In this critical analysis, I have chosen Influenza A H7N9. The concept of International Health Regulation 2005 is to prevent, protect, control, and provide the population across the globe a health response to emergence or re-emergence of international disease threat without the unnecessary interference of international traffic and trade. In consideration of this concept, Influenza A H7N9 has been selected for this analysis due to its periodic emergence in China, affecting neighboring countries such as Taiwan and Vietnam, which heighten the threat for a pandemic outbreak. In this picture, it provides an understanding about the origin of influenza A H7N9. It is a virus that contains genes from multiple avian origins such as ducks, birds, chicken, and pigeons. This virus was first detected in pigeons and chicken in a live poultry market of Xinjiang. Identified risk of infection was a direct contact with infected poultry. This picture shows the very first wave of influenza A H7N9 outbreak that hit China in 2013. There were 8 affected provinces, namely Beijing, Shandong, Jiangsu, Shanghai, Henan, Anhui, Jiangxi, and Zhejiang. The virus was first detected in the province of Zhejiang. And in accordance to the map, Zhejiang is closely adjacent to the country of Taiwan. This illustration will briefly discuss the surveillance system and responses implemented by China in their goal to control the emergence of a new virus in 2013. On the 24th of March 2013, the virus was first detected in the province of Shanghai, and a specimen sample was sent to China's CDC. Then in 3 days, the specimen sample that was submitted by Shanghai CDC has tested positive with H7. Therefore, China CDC has isolated the virus. After 2 days of isolation, the sample was diagnosed as novel avian influenza A H7N9. It took only 6 days for China CDC to diagnose the emerging of influenza A H7N9. However, there was a 3 days delay for the Chinese governing bodies to conclude that influenza A H7N9 was a new disease before it was reported to the World Health Organization. After that, there was another 5 days delay to start closing live poultry markets, despite knowing the fact that poultry market was the known area for the virus cluster spots. These results indicates the collaboration of surveillance, response, and prevention plan of China in their goal of controlling influenza A H7N9. Following the SARS outbreaks, China has made a huge improvement in their surveillance system. However, the results indicates an increased number of mortality and significant widespread of influenza A H7N9 affecting 23 provinces in its latest outbreak, compared to its first emergence in 2013, which only affects 8 provinces. The emerging and re-emerging threat of influenza A H7N9 has urged China to implement a comprehensive surveillance system that was significantly effective. Despite the active surveillance of the virus, the delayed response of closing the live poultry market as the area of cluster spot of the virus indicates insufficient understanding in the contribution of the zoonotic disease to the total population. In response to the influenza A H7N9 epidemic, the veterinary group in China has reported that there were 500,000 birds were culled and live poultry market was closed. Although closing the live poultry market shows to be highly effective in controlling the spread of influenza A H7N9, it did not address the issue very well, since only urban poultry market was closed while rural poultry market were still operating. The latest studies indicates a relatively proportional increase in the number of influenza A H7N9 infected humans in rural areas were observed. It reflects on the later wave that hit China, where there were numbers of infected cases and deaths has increased. It shows that there was a lack of communication and collaboration between the public health and veterinary services in implementing safety measures. Under the guidelines of control measures against influenza A H7N9, poultry markets that are reopening in 3 months post-closure will be on new sanitary standards practices. One Health Connection workshop include in the report that in the follow-up investigation, it has proven that live poultry markets were heavily contaminated with H7N9 virus, with no protocol for daily closure to allow disinfecting the areas. It was confirmed by the latest studies that indicated some variation in the personal protective behavior in China's population, which concludes low adherence to policy and infection control standards. The increasing number of mortalities in human and birds that were seen in the fifth wave has led China to launch a vaccination program to poultry to limit the spread of influenza A H7N9. On July 2017, they have launched a pilot program in Guangdong, China. And on September 2017, The pilot program was followed by a compulsory vaccination program nationwide. A study indicated that there were 22 H7N9 outbreaks from January to June 2017 before the vaccination, and only 5 outbreaks after the vaccination. Also, in 53 specimens that were collected from live poultry markets on April to May 2018, it has yielded no H7N9 virus detection. The vaccination program of poultry is one of the most appropriate prevention plans that China has implemented to control and limit the widespread of influenza A H7N9. Due to the adjacent location of Taiwan to China, it posed a greater risk of acquiring influenza A H7N9, where 4 confirmed cases were detected in Taiwan's laboratory. In addition, One Health Connection workshop has reported that using the geospatial mapping, it was identified that northern Vietnam was likely the site for the H7N9 emergence due to its border with Guangxi, China. The Emergency Center for Transboundary Animal Disease, or ECTAD, of Food Agriculture Organization has organized an emergency mission in Vietnam to rapidly detect and respond to the possible emergence of the virus. This international response to the outbreak has recognized the concept of International Health Regulation 2005 in preventing and protecting the public from the international spread of the disease. The following recommendations may improve the response, preparedness, and control plan in the emergence of influenza A H7N9. The first recommendation is to optimize the people's awareness of the virus and utilize methods to educate people in the importance of infection control and proper sanitation. The second recommendation is to enhance good communication, reporting, and information sharing to alert local, national, and international surveillance for the preparedness and response to the outbreak potential threat.